Hey, it's Ron with Life in Twin Falls. I got another video for you. This one we're calling Things You Didn't Know About Idaho and Things You Should Probably Know Before You Move Here. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe and click to the bell so you can get notified when I post a new video about Southern Idaho. I'm going to be putting out about one a week for you, so it'll be important to hit the bell, when I put new things out. I've been getting calls pretty much weekly from people who want to get out of the city and move to Idaho and kind of get away from it all. And I get that. I lived in a big city for 20 years, and with all the traffic and smog and crime and politics and everything, so the people that want to get away, I don't think they quite realize, they don't quite understand what you're getting into in some of these remote places. In Idaho, it can get really rural out here. And I've had people call and say, I just want to get as far out as I can, as far out as possible, but they don't quite understand. We're out here in the high desert, and you can easily be 30 minutes or more away from simple things like grocery stores and gas stations. Another thing people don't think about when you're out this far is cell service. Cell service can be really horrible in some areas. And you're going to deal with that if, like, say, your car breaks down or you run out of groceries. You need to go get groceries real quick. You're looking at 30 minutes or more to get anywhere. And that's if there's good road conditions. If you add snow to that, you can easily double or more your travel time, maybe not even travel at all. So be careful what you wish for if you're trying to get out of the city, and just look into where it is you're moving. I don't think it'll all be rosy to live way out in the middle of nowhere, because there are issues that require adaptability and patience. Another thing, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and your car breaks down and there's no cell service, that means you're going to be walking quite a ways if you live out that far. You're going to have difficulties if you're out of shape and haven't been regularly exercising. Next, let's talk about the towers, the cell service, the internet connections. If you're trying to work remotely, you've got to keep that in mind. It could be a big issue for you. It's hard the further out you go to bring in high-speed internet, even with some satellite services. Elon hasn't circled the whole globe yet with those satellites, so there are still plenty of places around here that do not get cell service or internet. You go far enough out, and pretty much all you're going to have out there are animals, and we have lots of them. We have elk and deer and plenty of fowl, eagles, hawks, owls. It's really cool. But if you live way out there, you have to be careful with things like the food you leave out, like you leave your dog food out. You have to be careful with that. Or if you have chickens, you decide to raise chickens, they can, draw in the predators. They can cause problems. I had to put aviary netting over my chicken coop to keep other birds from coming in. So if you're coming from the city, this may be something that you haven't had to think about. I really like Idaho because of all the personal freedoms here, and I don't want covenants and restrictions telling me what I can and can't do. And of course, all that sounds great on paper, but the problem is you may take care of your property the way you want to take care of it, but you have a neighbor that moves in and decides to put a bunch of junk cars or trailers or garbage all over their property. And because there are no covenants, they can do that. So keep that in mind if you think, oh, I'm going to go buy a place with no CC&Rs and move out there and live in paradise, because no rules for you means no rules for your neighbors. Another thing out here is you can run into easements. There may be some people that have permission to cross the property that you're buying, especially if you have a big piece of land and they've been using that to cross on or use it as a road for many years. You can't just show up and shut it down. They probably have the rights to it as an easement. And again, those are the kind of things you need to check into and make sure you have a licensed real estate agent that can check into those things for you. And the last thing people don't get when they come up here are the winters can get really bad. We've had some big time winters here in southern Idaho. I mean, we get a ton of snow up north. We don't get as much down here in the south, but in 2015, we had what we call Snowmageddon. So if you're traveling down a road in the snow, you may start to lose control, and we don't have a lot of guardrails here. So if you slide off the road, you're pretty much stuck in a ditch. And like we discussed earlier, if there's no cell service, you're walking, it could be for quite a distance. The roads can get really icy here sometimes, and depending on your driving skill knowledge, it can be pretty treacherous. So they do have, they allow studded snow tires here. I have a set for my van. just for that reason. Once a year, we switch them out and drive around on studded snow tires if necessary to help get around on these roads. Speaking of winter, if you're way out here, some of these properties that are far enough out, the county doesn't come out and plow the roads for you. It's up to you and the other homeowners around you that live on that road to keep the road plowed. And without that, you may not be getting out of your driveway. So you may need to get a pickup with a snow plow, or some people put plows in the front of their ATVs or even garden tractors to help at least plow out the driveway, and hopefully somebody does the street that lives on the block as well. So you may be wanting to get away from the big city, but you're giving up a lot of those conveniences that you're used to in the big city. Here in Idaho, many people know what to expect, and they're great with that. They know how to survive on their own. They know how to take care of themselves. The big thing is they just don't like people coming in from the big cities and telling them how to live. Boise's getting to become known as Bois-Angeles because so many people from California have moved up there, and they're turning it into a little Northern California. So that's the one thing. If you're moving here from out of state, you're moving here for the same reason everybody else that moved here is. So don't try and change it. People like it here just the way it is, and nobody likes to be told what to do. So the locals are willing to let you move in and do the same thing. Just don't push where you came from onto the people here, and you'll get along just fine. So I hope that helps. If you want to move here from the big city, just like I did, remember it's a little bit different. Do your homework, get to know the locals, read up on the culture and the environment. And there's some things you just need to prepare for, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I hope this has helped you in becoming more prepared about possibly moving to Southern Idaho. If I can be of any more help, just reach out on my website, ronjones.me. There's a contact section, or call the number in my bio page, and happy to help out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and we'll see you at the next video.